Non-stop turn and twist. God of His mercy. What's on the done of McGuan? Here, Butch Mantanala. Me all a walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, tell me where you get it from. Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me have the thing where you are waiting. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, how will you get it from? Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, why? But you would be more than dead to take your hand and lead you to the promised land. Me 20-foot dive on, all you got to do is be true, so let's go respond. Satisfy your emotion. Hotter for the press, instantly she was. She no old and tough, and she no got time no rust. Things smooth and precious like she never get a cut. Once on to expand, I've got to all and pull up. Giddy up, me I forget you is a mouse. Think I walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of body can tell me where you get it from. Knock find your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me everything. But up on that all, you no look for them way. You look good enough against the matter what I can say. Put on your clothes, it's like a display. Man, I swear and I steer about night and day. Would you be my honey and the woman lay? We can just smile on her face and say, she want a man for do the work, not one for play. I'm a rattan man, she says she want one for stay. I'm would you wanna walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of body, girl, tell me where you get it from. Knock by your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me got the thing where you want weird man. Walk like a champion. Yeah. You're now locked into MIC757. I am your host, Mike Will, Mike Laurie, whichever one you know me by the best. Welcome to episode 10. To be honest, I didn't. It's still kind of up in the air what I want to call this episode, but right now I'm gonna go with a odd conversation in the workplace, and we'll get right into that. Again, if you are coming back, welcome. If you're new, welcome. Come back, enjoy, and always and look forward to tuning in. I implemented one new thing, a part of the verses. We're going to get to that. A few things I want to cover. A topic I want to talk about. I think it's worth talking about because it was just a unique thing that I saw, and I thought it was a great thing. I'm also going to talk to you about a book that I read and I finished. I happen to know the author, and we spent, like I said, I haven't said, but we spent many hours talking and dissecting and talking about the books and the book and the timeline, and I'm gonna get into that. Do I need to knock out? Let me knock out 2 sponsors, and hopefully I don't forget the others. First sponsor is B3 Cornhole. B3 Cornhole is an online apparel shop where you can get customized cornhole bags, cornhole boards, the large ones, the mini travel ones, and they're very, very nice. Here is one of his cornhole bags. These are also professional they are made for professionals that play in tournaments. So if you want your own customized bag or boards, check out b3cornhole.com and tell them MIC757 sent you, and you might just get a little discount. Ball Hogs. Ball Hogs is a online apparel shop as well. If you're looking for any customized gift for any sports like t-shirts, cups, those cups that all these kids are walking around with now with the little straw on them. But one of his biggest sellers are slides. So if you want your team to be in uniform and all have the same slides, hey, check out my man at ballhogs.com. Again, ballhogs.com will have a lot of customized gifts for you as well. All right, so here's something that I really want to jump into. And I'm going to knock this little stuff out first. The Jordan Childs situation with the bronze medal. Gladly that she was able to obtain her bronze medal. I think it was a bunch of BS that they had to take her through. And I don't think it was fair. So shout outs to Jordan Childs and winning that little situation with your, not little situation, but that situation with your bronze medal, rightfully deserved.
Check it out. My man Noah Lyles. Look, man, check this out, man. I don't know what your beef is with the players from the NBA, man, but just leave that alone, man, because you're going to lose in that situation, man. This sport, I don't even want to get into that. Just be humble, man. And look, you did great at the Olympics, man. You fell short a little bit, but it's a big accomplishment of what you did, man. A lot of people don't make it to that stage, man. And for you to be kind of going back and forth with others on that same platform just looks a little silly. So, man, leave it alone, man, and enjoy your medals, man, and your accomplishment, man, and push forward to the next Olympics, man. Hope to see you there. All right, so I want to talk about something that was on social media. If you guys have been on social media and followed this guy by the name of Jason Roy. Jason Roy, a couple years back, started documenting his daily activities with his grandfather. One of the unique things about this and why I want to talk about it was there was, up until a couple of days ago, there was 4 generations of these Roy men alive. It was the I don't even know how to put this. So he was a great grandfather, a grandfather, and then a father. Roy, Joe Mac Roy. This guy, if you ever watched and saw this on social media, Facebook, anything like that, Pop Watch. Pop Watch was the name of it. If you are right now listening to this and you want to know, go on Facebook and pull up Pop Watch. Some of these videos are hilarious. This old dude was very hilarious. I believe they lived in Longview, Texas. I could be confusing that with Tyler, Texas, but they were somewhere in that area. And a lot of you know I spent a lot of time in Texas at one point in time. But before I go any further, hey, rest in peace to Joe McRoy. Pop Watch was one of the funniest guys on social media for me. Pop was an avid Dr. Pepper drinker, man. He loved Dr. Pepper, but some of the funniest videos was just him and the grandson riding around, and this guy didn't hold back, man. He was funny. He used to tell him, Jason, you ain't did shit, all day long after he done told his granddaddy, he done did this much work, he did that much work or whatever. Unique thing is that the grandson had a son. So the great grandson was able to, I think the grandson got to be something like 10, 11 years old, something like that. But he was able to interact with his great grandfather for those many years. The great grandfather did, I think he went to his games. They lived right across the street from one another. And that was one of the most unique things, that you can go right across the street to your great grandparents' house. And, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of knowledge that was given to that kid. But shout outs to Jason Roy, man, for, sharing that with the country, because he was a lot of followers up there. And but Pop Watch was definitely funny, and condolences to the Roy family. If memory serves me right, the guy was also a veteran, so definitely respect there. But definitely a unique thing where it was 4 generations that, when they took a picture, I believe one time, and it was 4 generations there. It was the dad, the son, the grandson, and the great grandson. I hope I said that right. 4 generations, man. And that's just very, very unique, especially for those that, grew up in the shadows of our grandparents. I was speaking to my cousin, and he was remembering, without me saying anything, where our great grandmother lived. And she lived off Berkeley Avenue, like right there, I think, I can't think of the name of that corner. Is that Middlesex? It was off Berkeley Avenue. It was like a block away from the Boys and Girls Club, the Southside Boys and Girls Club. But he even remembered where it was. I was kind of taken back that he did remember that. So, you know, those memories that we do have, but, you know, they kind of fading now, you know what I mean? But I have plenty of memories with my grandparents, you know. So those that still have your grandparents, cherish them. If not, do like we do. We cherish our memories of our grandparents. But again, this sip, it goes out to, again, Joe McRoy from Longview, Texas, aka Pop Watch. Again, if you don't know and haven't seen any of those videos, please go and check out Pop Watch. Those videos are hilarious. Shout outs and rest in peace to you, Pops. All right. So there's a bigger topic, not a bigger, but a topic I'm going to get into about a book I read. But before I get into that, let me take care of another sponsor. Let me take care of another sponsor and get that out the way. So the Dogfather. The Dogfather is a food truck located on Barrard Meadows and Newtown Road in Virginia Beach. He has a variety of he has a vast menu. He constantly changes. So you got to go out there and holler at my man. His food is very good. Is at a reasonable price. But hey, you just got to go out there and check it out yourself. Again, that's the Dogfather, located on Newtown Road and Broad Meadows Boulevard in Virginia Beach. Again, the Dogfather. All right, check this out. So we're going to continue with the hip hop verses, right? For those that are new, I go through what, my category, well, not my category, but I go to throwbacks to some throwback hip hop songs of my choice, but I try to put them against one another and see what you come up with. So let's jump right into that one. The first one would be, Who Do You Got? 2 Live Crew, Me So Horny, or Trick Daddy, You Don't Know Now. Right? So I asked a couple people this, and some of them was culturally biased, but I ran up on somebody that was from Miami, and they just looked at me. It was like, man, how can you put 2 of these songs together, versus one another, and they both out of Miami? I said, yo, you got to go back and look at a couple of other episodes, because I put dudes that from the same city as well, and they just got a laugh out of that. But, I try not to put too much of a big gap in there, but that was the best, I could come up with. And again, if you got some, hey, drop them joints for me, and I'll make sure that they make them up here. All right, so second we have LL Cool J, Around the Way Girl, and Common, The Light. All right. So it was hard for me on this one, man, because I had to go back and forth. I had to go back and listen to both of these songs, and I want to go with a draw, but I also want to pick something, and I just left it at a draw. I left it as a draw, and it might not be right, but I left it as a draw. All right, next 2, Snoop Dogg, What's My Name, and Biggie's Juicy. Now, I understand that geographically, wherever you're located, the particular song is going to get chosen. And I know most people are going to choose Biggie based off of being up on the East Coast, and Snoop for those on the West, maybe south to Midwest to the California coast. You know what I mean? But I think they're 2 good songs, and I can't wait to see which who chooses what. The next one was man, I'm gonna leave that one off. I'm gonna give you an extra one on the next episode because I kind of fired up on that one. I don't want to give it away. But the last one was Foxy Brown, Get Me Home, or Little Kim, Not Tonight. So I can't wait to see what you guys got to say about those, especially that Foxy and that Little Kim, because you gotta. I know I'm stirring up some stuff with some females that I know, and they're gonna lean heavy. Some gonna lean heavy on Foxy because Foxy kind of went hard in a lot of categories that some of the girls that I grew up with versus some of the things that little Kim was doing, but hey, I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say about that. Now, okay, so as I told you, I added something new to this. I was talking to a guy at work, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm loving it. I like the hip hop verses, man, but you in the 90s, man, you got a lot of throwback, man. You got to do a shoe verses." And I was like, "Oh, I was thinking about that, but I didn't know how I was going to go about it." You know what I'm saying? So here it goes. I'm adding that to it. However, I'm not going to do like 4 or 5 like I'm doing with the hip hop verses song. I'm going to keep it at 3. So I chose 6 shoes to go against one another. Now, some people may not know this, so I'll give you a upfront. I'll give you some feedback. Not feedback, but I will give you a little insight on some of these. All right. So first, shoes that go against one another. This is the very first time. So you have Bally's versus Wallabies. Now, here's the thing. Some people go like, "Mike, I don't know what Wallabies are." Well, you kind of do, you kind of don't, right? Because it just depends. Now, they are a version of Wallabies, and there's a version of Clarks. So if you know what Clarks are, you know what Wallabies are, right? They're just a different form or version of the same shoe to me. That's my opinion, but if you ask someone, they're going to tell you, "Mike, you're dead wrong." But I'm just trying to get you to have a visual of what Wallabies are versus Clarks. But again, the first one is Bally's versus Wallabies. And believe me, I got a ton of shoes to put up here. I don't think I'm gonna run out for a while. There'll be an episode. It'll be a few episodes in before I run out of shoes. But the next ones, you got to know what these are too. So if you don't know before you vote, you got to go back and look, because I had to take some shoes off because they were in a class with another shoe. So the second ones are the Feli Classics versus the Reebok Classics, right? Not the workout joints. All right. You got Reebok workout joints, but then you got classics. So Reebok Classics versus Feli Classics. All right. Last one, right? You got to be, they're very particular, right? So you have the shell toe Adidas with the 3 stripes, fat laces, versus the suede Pumas with the fat laces. Any color that you choose, and also in the suede, any color that you choose versus any color of the shell toes. But the unique thing is they both have to have the fat laces, right? So there's your new addition to the verses, right? So we got the hip hop songs, you got those, and then you got your shoe verses, man. Hopefully y'all like that. I can't wait to see some of the feedback on, especially the shoes, man, especially the shoes. So hey, I also got a long list. I already listed a couple verses that's coming. What shoe, this shoe, this shoe, this shoe, this shoe. So any shoe that you could probably think about, I pretty much got them on the list. But hey, I take all insight, and I'll take all, anything that you give me. Might put this shoe versus this shoe and see what people say. You're going to notice that I kind of left the Jordans out of it, right? I know everybody probably saying, "Why you ain't put no Jordans in it just yet?" I'm gonna have to come down and do Jordans versus Jordans, and because if I put a Jordan up against any other shoe, you're gonna choose the Jordans. So when I implement the Jordans into it, it's more likely gonna be Jordans versus Jordans. All right. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this particular episode. Before I get into the story, the stories and times of a story from the life and times of Mike Lowry, and that's where the awkward conversation come in tonight. Let me one sec. See, man, y'all had me tripping, man. It was out of reach. But check this out. We're going to talk about this particular book right here, right? This book here is a book written by Donnell C. Hammonds. Who is he? He's a guy that is from my neighborhood, right? He wrote a book called Summer 96, A Berkeley's Tale. Check this, man. This is something that I have been waiting on for a very long time. And what I mean by that, I've been waiting for somebody to step up and tell our story from our point of view, and how our environment has shaped some of us. And in this book, I'll be the first to tell you that he did not hold no punches when writing this book. This book is very gritty, it's real, it is authentic, it's his view on what was going on in our neighborhood. But I challenge those that are definitely from my neighborhood, those that are affiliated with my neighborhood, those that heard about our neighborhood, those just from the 757. If this book does not make you remember a lot of things that was going on at that time, I don't know where you was on that scene. You know, like I said, this book has characters in it that I know personally, that I know from afar, not just people I heard of, people that I came across. You know, although that Donnell and myself were 2 years apart from one another, we still ran in the same vicinity. We knew the same people, had different interactions with those people. But best known, we know each other more from the Southside Boys and Girls Club. That's where we probably first got introduced to one another. We spent countless hours, and I mean countless hours, from the time that I ordered the book and I got in touch with him, and we were breaking down and decipher. We analyzed this book all the way through. All the way through. He answers so many questions, and I filled in. It was funny. He was like, "Damn, Mike, I should have called you or something, man, because you are filling in blanks of some of the people that I forgot, or I didn't remember their name or something like that." Now, there's a lot of people in this book that he speaks about, and I couldn't make out who it was, right? I just couldn't make out who it was. So when in our talks, I'll be like, "Look, man, he did tell me, full disclosure, that if he had to talk negative about someone, he changed their name, right? But what he was describing, I would guess who I think it was. And on a few occasions, I was absolutely correct about who he was describing. And he was just like, "Mike, man, how do you even remember or know this stuff?" And I told him one thing. I said, "On the scene, but not seen." I'm going to say it again. On the scene, not seen. And he just got a chuckle out of that. One of the unique things about him is that one of his old heads was the older brother of who I consider was my old head, right? And we just laughed about that, and we tied in a few things. He was like, "Mike, hold up, man, hold up. You got me thinking about writing a part 2 to this book, because you're making me remember things that I kind of forgot." And he was like, "Sure enough, that happened, and this who it was, and this person was involved, and that person was involved." And it was just refreshing to sit there and go down memory lane with someone that was living in this environment at the same time as I was, and getting to read from his point of view of how things was going on. And one of the opposite things about opposite, is that right? Yeah. He is from a section in my neighborhood called Bell Diamond. And of course, most already know I'm from the old end. And at times, the old end, and you can't call it the new end, but the other end, you know, which they refer to us that too. We didn't always get along. You know what I mean? There was a couple of feuds in there, but then there was some people that they did get along. You know what I mean? And you had bonds with me personally. I had friendships and bonds with guys from similar terrace and Bell Diamond. So it wasn't easy to sidestep some of those issues when you are on the old end or you on this end and you have family members involved. It's not easy at all to sidestep that. Sometimes you can't sidestep it. And you have to read the book to know some of those issues, you know, that took place, you know, during that time. And I'm pretty sure, let me just also put this in there. The book is not just about the summer of 96. He starts in 89 and works his way to 96. And I tell you, there's a lot that went on that it's just that I'm glad that someone took the time to sit down and talk about that. There's guys that he mentioned that's in the book that are no longer here. So I will repeat those names, you know, like guys like Breon, App, Ali, Jimmy, Donnell. You know, he mentioned those guys in the book at those particular times where either their death or their presence was I don't want to use the word affected him because of the death. The deaths, yes, but the presence because he grew up hanging around Breon. You know, the other guys were a couple years younger than him. They were my age. All the other guys were pretty much my age that I just named. And it was just unique how all those paths crossed, and a few other people that we had interactions with at different times, and we were just able to match those things up, man. But again, man, this book is, again, if you're from Berkeley, I don't care, ON, anywhere from Berkeley, if you even have affiliations with Berkeley, you would know most of these people that's in this book, man. He talked about the wild pool parties that Noodles had. You know, anybody that ever got into them parties didn't know that was legendary parties. That was just, oh my gosh, man. Being a young boy at that time, man, or teenager at that time, young teenager at that time, being able, Noodles would let me in them parties. Yo, man, that boy was losing his mind up in there, man. But hey, shout outs to Noodles, man. If anybody show Noodles this, man, tell him, man, hey, thanks, old head, for letting me in them parties, man. You know, it was always a good night, man, at them parties, man. But again, though, I would tell you that the book is, when I tell you it gets real, especially when he talks about some of the deaths that affected him, that affected the community, meaning Berkeley. They are definitely as I say, there were some rough times in the book, you know, and in his personal times where it was rough for him, you know what I mean? But I would say if you're reading the book, you can put yourself in his shoes, especially if you're from that particular environment and or partaking in some of the things that was going on in our environment, you know. Yeah, it's a good book. As soon as I started reading it, I couldn't stop. And it was like every day or every other day, man, I'm hitting him with questions. Hey, man, iron this out for me. And look, man, when I tell you he was answering, man, he was answering. So if any of y'all know Donnell, man, hey, reach out to him on social media, and tell him, man, you know, if you get the copy of the book, it's on Amazon. Godly, man. Donnell, sorry, I should have led with that, man. I should have led with that. Sorry. You can get this book and his other book on Amazon. This one, I haven't finished the other book yet. That's why I haven't really talked about it. But this book right here arrived on through Amazon, man. As soon as I started reading, it captivated me, and I couldn't put the book down because it was like some of my situations and what I was seeing and remembering from that time was just jumping off the page, man, just jumping off the page. And like I said, man, it was a good read, man. Now, I did tell him, man, I ain't I don't pick up books like that and read them all the time, man. But hey, man, you got to get this on audiobook. You know what I mean? So he laughed and said, that's just something, that's down the road. Hopefully he can get into an audiobook for those like myself that do, listen to audiobooks, because I would definitely buy it again, But hey, man, I don't know how this work anymore, but if you have somebody that's incarcerated and that was around during this time, get them a copy of this book. Get them a copy of this book. I guarantee they would greatly appreciate it. Again, this is Summer of '96, A Berkeley's Tale, written by Donnell C. Hammond. And a lot of y'all know that street right there. A lot of y'all know this street. This is one of the streets, man. If you don't know this street right here in Berkeley, man, you set in the house for, say you was a house, you was a porch kid or, whatever. And nothing's wrong with that, though. Nothing's wrong with that. All right. Do I have anything else to elaborate about that? I can go on and on about the book, man, because it was, when I tell you, it was a true walk down memory lane. Like I said, there's a lot of people in the book that I know. There's really maybe out of all the characters, even the ones I had to ask him who was he talking about. There's like one or two people in this entire book, besides parts when he went off to college for a little while. But if you're from my neighborhood, there was only like two names I think I did not remember. But for the most part, man, he gave respect where respect due. You had to read the book about that part. He gave, and I don't want to ruin it. For those that have the book, haven't got to those parts yet, but he gave a lot of respect to a lot of guys from Berkeley and what they stood for, and what lines they wasn't going to cross. You know what I mean? And I thought that was big of him to even put in the book. You know what I mean? To even put that in the book. And again, like I had to reach out to a friend that him and I both was talking about, and he spoke about in the book. And I'm giving him a shout out here because, man, he agreed that he's one of the realest brothers you can have, and always been solid. And that's Remo. Shout outs to you, bro. Shout outs, man. You know what I'm saying? Solid, man. 1,000% solid brother. Remo. He know who he is, man. Shout outs to you, bro. All right. Again, pick this book up. Even if you are not from our area, right? South side over here. This is the south side, baby. But even if you're not from our area, this is a good book to pick up. You know what I mean? I tell you that this is a glimpse in the life of a young black male from the 757. You know what I mean? This is a glimpse into it. But yeah, so let's get into these last two sponsors before I get into a story from the life and time of Mike Laurie. CNC Luxury Car Wash, right? CNC Luxury Car Wash is located at the corner of Pondexter and Liberty Street in Chesapeake, Virginia. If you're looking to have your car detailed to showroom standards, or if it came off the showroom floor, but pretty much almost back to brand new, man, you just got to go in and see CNC Luxury Car Wash. Look for my man Neil. Tell him MIC757 sent you. He might cut you a little deal. I keep forgetting to mention this, and I believe Wednesdays of every week is Senior Citizen Day, and they get a heck of a discount. And I think they almost get it practically not brand new, but free. But you got to pay them a little bit of money. But for those that have elderly parents, grandma, granddad, that just can't wash them cars, go see CNC Luxury Car Wash, definitely on Wednesdays, so you can get that senior citizen discount. For all those other ones, you're going to have to pay full price, man. Stop playing. CNC Luxury Car Wash on the corner of Pondexter and Liberty Street in Chesapeake, Virginia. All right, last but not least, Soul Lace Embrace Massage Therapy. If you're looking for a decent massage, but the clientele for Soul Lace Embrace Massage Therapy is strictly online. I would tell you that because they are exclusive, you will have to fill out a little bit of paperwork, because they're going to be mobile and coming to their they may come to your residence, and they want to be safe. But Soul Lace Embrace Massage Therapy will take care of your needs. If you have a pregnant wife, they are specializing in pregnancy massages. If you're an athlete and you want to do that cupping thing, they are specialized in that. Other than that, if you want a regular massage, aromatherapy, deep tissue, Soul Lace Embrace Massage Therapy would take care of you. Again, that's online at soullaceembracemassage.com, therapy.com, and they will take care of your needs. All right. Let's get into the story from the life and time of Mike Laurie. And I'm going to try to speed this up because it's not, this story, I don't want to offend no one, right? Because it talks about three things that I didn't want to talk about in the workplace, right? And those three things are finances, religion, and politics, right? Let's get into the story. As some of you know, I'm a veteran, right? So just say I'm in a foreign country, right? And like I said, there's conversations that I just didn't get into what I call the workplace. Were we in a physical workplace? No, but we were on a mission or in between missions, right? Not going to speak about all the extra stuff, right? I don't know what's classified, what's not. I don't even get into it no more. Like I said, former veteran. Not former veteran. I am a veteran. Sorry. But former soldier. All right. So we were, okay. So there was a group of guys that we had been together for a couple years. So we knew each other inside and out. So we knew what not to, tick people, each other off or whatever. And then we had those group of guys that joined us a little later when we were over in one of these foreign countries. And I'm going to talk about this particular guy that joined us later. And he was one of those guys that joined the military at a older age. So he was kind of set in his ways with his views of religion, politics, and finances. 3 conversations I don't get into in the workplace. But this guy was very persistent in his conversations with people, which led to many arguments, right? I'm not going to say where I was at this particular time, but and who I was with. But those that were there, they know this story. So this guy used to take jabs at certain people that, try to get a rise out of them. And me, I'm not going to get into your BS or whatever. So one day, or I guess he would take a note that, me, I never got into these conversations that they were having in groups. And like I said, in this particular setting, you have people from all walks of life, people, different religions. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So this guy, he was avid about his religion. And again, here's what I'm going to say. I respect everybody's religion. Am I religious? No. But am I spiritual? Yes. Take that where we're going to go. So this particular guy noticed that I would read out of the Quran, and I would read the Quran. That's all he seemed to take note of. So one day when he gets into this conversation with another guy that I had known for like 5-6 years, the guy politely told him, Mike is not the guy you want to get into this conversation. Leave him alone. He's going to piss you off, and he's going to piss you off. He's not that guy that you really want to get into the conversation with, or you don't want to push his buttons. Leave him alone. No, this guy was that guy. He just thought that whatever he believed was, right. And what if you didn't believe or agree with some of the things that he said, whatever. So how the conversation goes is like this. We were sitting and waiting. We was in between missions, right? And we had a lot of downtime. So this guy says, hey, Mike, what do you think about us over here killing Muslims? And I was like, what do you mean by that? So here's where I had to end up having this awkward conversation with this guy, but putting him in his place. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, I see you reading out of the Quran. I just want to know, how do you feel about us over here killing, fellow Muslims? And I said, well, what makes you think that I'm a Muslim? He said, well, I see you read out of the Quran. I said, well, you're not very detail oriented, because you should also see that I read out of the Old Testament. I said, I read both so I can better understand, the differences, if they are differences, depending on how you read something. And he was like, well, I just think it's full of crap. I said, have you ever read it? He said, no, I don't need to read it to know it. I said, well, how do you make that assumption if you don't read it yourself? I said, let me guess. You're a Christian, huh? I said, well, I already figured that out, with all the other conversations that you had with others. I said, well, what's wrong with the Islamic or Muslim faith? He said, well, all the jihad and the bad that they do, they're chopping people's heads off. I was like, I'm glad you said that. So now I'm all into the conversation, because I got to put this dude in his place about his thoughts and this, that, and other. And this was the tip of the iceberg. And I said, well, you understand that your religion has a bloody path to it. I said, you do understand that, right? I said, do you understand about the Crusades and how Christianity was sweeping across the continent? And if you wasn't converting to Christianity, they was cutting your heads off, right? Or you totally just going to bypass the history of your religion? I said, it has a bloody path to it. So what you're talking about right now in the Islamic faith is just a circle of what Christianity did back in the day. Well, da-da-da-da-da. Nah, man, you can't bypass that. If you're going to talk about one, talk about both, right? Well, if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell. I said, see, that's the problem. I said, you're a little bit too brainwashed in my opinion, of your religion. And I said, but it is what it is, right? I said, you could be a Christian, you could be a Baptist, you could be a Pentecostal, whatever. It don't bother me. What I have a problem with is when other people down other people's religion. I said, truth be told, I'm not an Islamic brother. I'm not. I said, but I'm spiritual and not religious. I said, that's why I'm able to sit here and read out of both books to get a better understanding, because I'm not biased. So he's mad because I already told him that, his religion, has a bloody path, and he didn't want to, he did not want to agree to that. You know, it was just that every other religion wasn't good. And I said, well, furthermore, I said, just so for the record, man, I see you talk about politics a lot. You know, I said, you understand that your politics and your views don't mean absolutely nothing while you're in the uniform. And he said, what do you mean by that? I said, by this time, too, let me just make sure you understand that. By this time, we absolutely have everybody's attention because this guy is 38 mad. And now look, 38 mad, 38 hot. Y'all know what I mean. Now, I'm leaving out a bunch of little stuff in there, but I think you guys get the gist of it, right? How mad this guy has gotten because I kind of shitted on his religion. Not that I was trying to do that. I was trying to shit on his views about his religion. Not, let me take that back because I did say that wrong. His views about his religion is what I was shitting on and letting him know that you cannot look at it with a blind eye like he was doing, right? Same thing with his political views. I even told him at that particular time, I understand by not even asking you that the person that's in office you did not vote for. I said, but you know your vote don't matter anyway while you in the uniform. I said you gave up that right when you enlisted. I said keep in mind you voluntarily gave that up too because you voluntarily enlisted into this military, right? So now I really got everybody's attention, but he's getting mad. What do you mean my political views don't matter? I said it doesn't because right now you are in a foreign country based off of what the commander-in-chief that you did not vote for told you was going, right or wrong. Or he didn't want to answer. I know. So now I got this guy pretty pissed, right? And I really don't give a shit. So I want to go in a little bit more, right? So I said, you know what? I said, let me further let you know that how your political views and stuff don't matter. I said, you remember that absentee ballot that you filled out about a week or two ago? He said, yeah. I said, you know what that absentee ballot is right now? Yeah. I said, no, you don't. I said, but I do. Where is it? I said, it's probably somewhere burning up or probably caught fire in one of these mill vans that's sitting out here on the tarmac somewhere. Your vote ain't left where we are currently. And everybody bust out laughing because they knew exactly what I was saying, that your vote don't matter while you're in the uniform. You can vote all you want, but where we were at that particular time, it doesn't matter because whoever the commander-in-chief is, if you voted for them or not, you're going to execute those orders from those appointed above you, if you voted for him or not. And that dude was so hot. And I mean, like, he was hot. But you think Mike stopped there? No, Mike didn't. No. I said, let's go back to religion since, you know, you're so high and mighty on your religion, you know. I said, so say we get back to, you know, our homeland, right? We call it rotate back to the States, right? I said, you're sitting on your front porch, right? And I said, you're sitting on your front porch, and for whatever reason, you know what I mean, you got the right to bear arms, right? You agree to that, right? We got the right to bear arms. Yeah. You know, he hot now. He really hot. I said, so if you see a guy walking down the street and he walks up into your neighbor's yard, front yard, from the street, he shoots your neighbor. Bam. He walks to the neighbor next to you. You're watching this. He shoots him. Bam. He's walking up to your house. Now, you have your weapon, right? He said, yeah. I said, what are you going to do before you see that he just shot two of your neighbors and you know you're next? I said, what are you going to do? He said, well, I'm gonna raise my weapon. I'm going to shoot him first. I said, you sure? I said, you're not going to ask him what his religion is? And he just looked at me. I said, you're not going to care what he just looked at me. And I just further said, see, you're not going to care what his religion is. But I said, what if he's the same religion as you? Are you not going to pull the trigger? And he just looked at me. I mean, this guy just looked at me. I said, see, that's why I mean, religion is just a thing that you're holding on to and you're preaching to everyone, but it really doesn't matter to you. Now, I'm not saying that for everyone. I was just trying to get to him and get under his skin about all the stuff that he kept running off at the mouth at and saying this and saying that. And I guess I know I have left a lot of things out, but hopefully you got the gist of this story, what I had to do to get under this guy's skin that he was trying to get under everybody else's skin, and so on and so forth. For those that didn't agree with him or believe some of the things that he believed in. I mean, like you had to be there to know, and those that were there, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But hey, that is your story from the life of times of Mike Laurie. Hopefully it was entertaining to you. Hopefully you got it. You know what I mean? Hopefully I did not, it was no intention to upset no one, and definitely respect everyone's religion. First and foremost, it's just with this guy, he had to be reeled in a little bit about some of the stuff that he was saying and preaching. Now, those that ever been in my predicament and had that understands that division and dividing soldiers, by religion or politics or finances is detrimental to what we have going on. And some people clearly didn't get that understanding. So from my point of view, hopefully you guys understand that I was not attacking no one's religion. I was just attacking this guy's thoughts about his situation and how he viewed it. And I was trying to let him know, you're not going to turn your back. If this guy isn't the same religion as you, you're going to turn his back on him and only fight for those that believe in the same religion as you. Where in our particular profession, those things didn't matter. Your religion didn't matter. Your politics didn't matter. Your finances didn't matter. I just needed you to have that person's back and that person have yours. So hopefully everyone gets the gist about that. I understand that I might have some listeners that are not military affiliated at all, and but hopefully you got it. Again, no attacks on anybody's religion. I respect everyone's religion. I respect everyone's views. This is why we served, to protect those, rights, that you can have freedom of speech, that you can have freedom of religion. You can have your views about politics, So hopefully you get the gist of that story of how this guy was breeding a negative environment, and it was going on for a while. And I was just the guy that just hopefully at that particular time killed it. You know what I mean? And made it more of a cohesive group that what it once was before that guy showed up. But again, hopefully, I don't know. But hey, thank you for tuning in. Please come back. I'm gonna add some more hip hop songs. I'm gonna add some more shoe verses. And anything you drop in those comments, man, we will address, man. So for those that know that, I have a slogan, the slogan is something that, we came up with years ago, especially through the struggle. But for all those that grew up on 4 chicken wings and rice, a 40 ounce and a nickel back to get nice, this is MIC757 saying good night.
simmer.
Be the man of the girls, them sugar.
Sim simmer.
The girls, them world class lover.
Sim simmer.
The girls, them need this nigga.
Sim simmer.
When me love them shape and figure.
Sim simmer.
Yeah, the man them where the girl admire.
Sim simmer.
Not the girl that make them ball out for jaja.
Sim simmer.
And I me got the girls, them power.
Sim simmer.
You be cool and my ass sing by the hour.
The stars at the sky for you.
Zaga, zaga, zaga.
There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do.
Wow, wow.
If I could be your girl,
Zaga, 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 zaga.
if I could be your girl.
Excuse me, baby, but I will just have to tell you this. It's been a while since I done my hearing your tenderness. Your Coca-Cola bottle shape and all the cherry lips. I know you alone, me want to hug love up and then lick it. And I want to show you I'm a man that's very romantic. But you's a favorite, choose a girl, that's why me never itch. Nothing got to you, see me now, and you me want to shit. But listen when me sing this, knock your ticket.
simmer.
In the man of the girls, them sugar.
Sim simmer.
The girls, them world class lover.
Sim simmer.
Me love them shape and figure.
Sim simmer.
You know them need this nigga.
Sim simmer, baby.
Yeah, the man them where the girls them admire.
Sim simmer.
Where the girls them love me body hour.
Sim simmer.
When me come with the girls them power.
Sim simmer.
Suck it down and hear when my all
The stars at the sky for you.
me zaga zaga.
There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do. If I could be your girl,
Zaga zaga. Yeah.
if I could be your girl.
Let's sing again, baby.
The stars at the sky for you.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do.
Zaga 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 zaga.
If I could be your girl,
Alright, cool. Alright, yeah.
if I could be your girl,
Yeah, man, screech it. One cup of water and 3 sour lime. You a John mine, me a Joe grind. You give her the money and me kill her with the wine. When you're there work, she there on your mind. But she there Neptune's gate at daytime. Catch! When I write me and I call me and I tell me that my brother Richie Poe just hit the jackpot. But to the fashion and the ways and the style we got.
simmer.
Be the man of the girls, them sugar.
Sim simmer.
The girls, them world class lover.
Sim simmer.
The girls, them need this nigga.
Sim simmer.
Me love them shape
Come
and
on.
figure.
Sim simmer.
Love the girl, them by that hour.
Sim simmer.
Make them ball and cry for them mother.